the biggest non-playoff game in the Mahomes era. That's what this game against the Bills is being labeled as, and I got to tell you, it may actually be that. So, the Chiefs, the Bills, the biggest reason this is a big game, well, you lost this past week against the Packers, and now your chance of that 1 seed could be severely impacted with a loss in Arrowhead this Sunday against Josh Allen and the Bills. So, we need the good vibes. We need the good luck. We need everything going the Chiefs' way, and I need your help. If you want the Chiefs to beat the Bills on Sunday, then like that video. Don't be the jinx. I can see who likes it. I can see who can't, and it's a proven fact. We get 500 likes on this video, just like in previews past. Guess what? We are guaranteed to win. So hit that like button. We'd surely appreciate it, and Patrick Mahomes would really appreciate it as well. The number 1 seed is still possible. That's what we're talking about here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I appreciate you watching again here. I'm Jay Sanders, and I'm telling you, the Chiefs did lose a big game to the Packers, but their number 1 seed dream, was it dead? Let's talk about it, because it's not exactly. Let's first look at the playoff picture with the number 1 seed switching to the Miami Dolphins. Now, and funny enough, the Bengals helped us out on Monday Night Football just a little bit ago as they beat the Jaguars and bounced them to the 4th spot. Obviously, Kansas City gets the tiebreaker as they beat the Jaguars. The 2 teams ahead, though, Baltimore and Miami. All 4 teams right there, they're done with their byes. In fact, everyone up until 7, done with their byes. So, from here on out, it's going to be a big test of winning each week and trying to go in, because the Dolphins slip up, you have the tiebreaker over them. Problem is, you need the Dolphins and the Ravens to slip up, which means you can't slip up. That being said, the Chiefs are not out of it yet. It is not going to be, okay, well, that's it. We're not getting the 1 seed. No, not yet. The Ravens have a tough schedule. The Dolphins, well, we'll talk about their schedule and see what we think of that in just a minute. But overall, the Chiefs are not out of it. But this game is very important. I think this game is really one of the most impactful games that we've had in a long time in the regular season. So much so that Nick Wright actually labeled it as the most important regular season game of the Patrick Mahomes era. He said this on First Things First. The game against the Bills is the biggest regular season game of the Mahomes era. If they win, they end the Bills and end up with the 1 seed. If they lose, all of a sudden, the mystique will be broken, and the Arrowhead Invitational will officially be canceled. Strong words from Nick Wright, and I think I agree with him. How important is this game to you? Is it a 1 where it's not that important? Jace, you're blowing this way out of proportion. So is Nick Wright. That's just stupid. It's just a game here. They can lose. This will be fine. It's okay. 10. You need to win this game. This is a huge game. You have to bounce the Bills out of here. You have to propel yourself toward that 1 seed. How important is it to you? A scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not important, 10 being the most important. Get in the comments, give me a number, and let me know with this Sunday's game coming up. The Chiefs' remaining schedule looks like this. You've got the Bills. You've got the Patriots, the Raiders, the Bengals, and the Chargers. You had that Patriots game on Monday night. That was flexed, which I'm not going to say the Chiefs were going to lose, because that's not what we talk here. But the primetime games the Chiefs have played in, well, they've lost 3 of them. So when you've only played 4 and you've lost 3, that's not exactly good. You have the Patriots, you got the Raiders on Christmas, the Bengals. And they look pretty good against the freaking Jaguars. Jake Browning was a little scary, I'm not going to lie. At the same time, the Jaguars' defense is nowhere near the Chiefs' defense. Overall, that schedule is more scary now than it was last week because of the whole Jake Browning situation and the fact that you lost to the Packers. Because the whole thing that we kind of talked about last time was you can only lose one of those games. You lost that already. You lost to the Packers. That loss is now gone. You can't just lose another. That would hurt more than you could think. In fact, hurting being basically you're probably not going to get a 1 seed, and there's a chance that you might not even get your own home playoff game. So, for the Chiefs, it's time to lock in. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to lock in, be ready to go, and understand that every game is somewhat of a playoff atmosphere in terms of trying to get that 1 seed. Obviously, this team, in theory, should make the playoffs. The Broncos are surging, though, so you never know for sure. But it's time to lock in, and I'll tell you what, it's also time to lock in your entries with PrizePicks for this upcoming Sunday's game. Because I'm telling you what, I've got my PrizePicks rolling, And I want you to join me. You can either fade me, you can put your entries in as well. But tell you what, PrizePicks is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And here's the best part. With basketball season here, you can do combo projections across the NBA and NFL. It's super easy to play. As you see, you choose 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their PrizePicks projections, and then you choose a flex or a power play to see what you want. You can check it out at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks also offers a reboot policy so that even if one of my players gets injured or your players, guess what? They're going to stay in play and you can get rebooted. Now, my picks this upcoming. Guess what? I've got Patrick Mahomes on the more. I think he's going to go more. I think this is going to be a passing game. I've got Josh Allen on the more at 261.5. This is definitely going to be a passing game, so I got more on both the passers. And then I think this Chiefs defense will be a bend, not break, so I'm going the more on the field goal made by Tyler Bass as well. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Once again, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Shout out PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Let's look at that Ravens remaining schedule because I think it's important to talk about. The bye is gone, and here are their last 5 games. You have the Rams. That one going to be in Baltimore. And then the 3 games that could decide the Ravens season and the Chiefs' ability to get the #1 seed. At Jacksonville on Sunday Night Football. At San Francisco on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins and their offense on Week 17. And then I think it's also a little important. We'll see how it works out. Obviously, Pickett injured at the time being, but that Week 18 game versus the Steelers could also be a big one for them as well, considering how the Steelers finish out their season. Now, that's one to watch, but here's the problem. You also have to worry about the Dolphins now because they're ahead of you. And now they have Titans on Monday Night Football. In theory, that's probably a win. They have the Jets, who they clapped last time they played, and now they get him at home. And then in Week 16, they play the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills to finish out their season. Those 3 are the tough ones. These next 2 games, probably going to be wins. After that, well, we'll have to see what exactly happens. Christmas Eve against the Cowboys, that's going to be a big game for Chiefs fans to watch before we play the Raiders that next day on Christmas. Big game right there. I don't like the Dolphins' schedule. First of all, they have 4 of the final 5 games at home. That usually doesn't exactly plan well if you want a team to lose for them to be at home. Now, on top of which, there's this. The Dolphins have a severely overrated defense, but their offense is pretty dang good. I have to say that. There's a problem with that because the offense is going to really boat race probably Tennessee and the Jets. And then if they can beat that Ravens defense, well, that could be a potential win as well. The Cowboys defense has been good, but their offense has also been good. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts here with the Dolphins schedule. It's one I don't like. And the reason I don't like it is because you don't control your own destiny. You threw that away on Sunday. If you beat the Packers, you controlled it. Now you don't. And that really hurts because you want that Arrowhead Invitational. You want to be #1. You want to have the first round bye. It's all up in the air right now, and you don't have it, and that's going to be a lot of things to keep in mind as we head toward the end of this season. Who you got this upcoming game? The Chiefs, the Bills. What do we think? We got the Chiefs? I know we do. Type KC. Flood the comments with KC. I want to see it. And if for some reason you got the Bills, listen, we don't discriminate, but go make sure you type BUF down in the comment section, as I got to see who doesn't believe in the Chiefs so that after the Chiefs win this Sunday, I can come back and have my receipts. We also have a live watch party for the Chiefs versus Bills, so make sure you join us, subscribe, and turn on that bell. You're going to get notified 30 minutes before we go live. We'll be live at 2:30 Central Time. It's going to be a good time, so make sure you join us. We're going to have a bunch of fun Super Chat giveaways. We're going to have a bunch of fun things to be doing, talking about the Chiefs, storylines, updates, live, play-by-play. Me and Sam going to be having fun. It's going to be an ultimate good time, and you're going to want to join us if you want to watch the games with a couple of other Chiefs fans. Let's look at the keys to victory for this Sunday game, and the first one is going to be containing Josh Allen. Because, well, he is their entire offense, and I mean that literally. It's him, and that's it, because he can really make a game or he can break a game. Now, passing yards, over 3,000, passing touchdowns, 24. But the interceptions, that's where he can break a game. Because if he starts getting the turnover bug, boy, oh boy, it's a long day for the Bills. He's got fumble problems. He's got interception problems, but he also can run the rock. 340 on the ground, 9 touchdowns. It's going to be tough to contain him. We'll see what this defensive line has, especially with the linebacker room kind of hurting as well. So now you have to look at how can we do this? You stop Josh Allen. He is the key to that Buffalo Bills offense. If you can stop him, there's no way the Bills score more than 17 or 20. That's the thing. He is the only guy that I think can go out there and physically make the Bills win. Everybody else, Stephon Diggs, then can be covered by L'Jarius Sneed. And then you got Gabe Davis. He'll probably be taken over by Trent McDuffie. I trust the guys in the secondary for them. The second key to victory, score early. Now, why do I say that? Well, that hasn't happened the past 2 weeks. In fact, that's been a premium for the past 2 weeks as you've been getting down. You had the Raiders. You had the Packers. Guess what? You scored 3 points in the first quarter. Come on. Meanwhile, the other team scored 7. You went into halftime of the Packers game, 14-6. You went into halftime of the Raiders, tied up. You kind of came back. You had 14 points in the second quarter. But you have to be able to come in here and score early and make sure you're able to go in and just control the offense and hopefully make sure that you just put some points on the board, put pressure on the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Which leads me to my next key to victory, control the game. You have to go in there and make this feel like it's your game. I think this is important because I want to go back to the now 4 losses the Chiefs have had. You have the Lions, you have the Broncos, you have the Packers, and you have, of course, that other one. So you're chasing 3 of 4 losses here. It's really tough to look at these, but the primetime games, you have, of course, that first game of the year against the Lions. You're chasing points. Not good. You have the Packers. Again, you are chasing points. You have the Eagles. Again, you're chasing points. The entire time on those 3 primetime games, you are just chasing them from behind. You can't have that happen with the Bills. Because if you get in a boat race, I have a hard time believing in this offense considering what I have seen. The final one, use the crowd. You are in Arrowhead. You have the crowd behind you. Let it fuel you. Let it motivate you. Arrowhead will be loud. Use it to your advantage. Listen, this Bills-Chiefs game, it's somewhat of a rivalry because of the way these teams have played in the playoffs. Now, I know everybody likes to claim, oh, we're the Chiefs' rival. Oh, we're the Chiefs' rival. The only one that's really close is the Raiders, even though they lose all the time. But besides them, it's the Bills. You've played them so many times in the playoffs. And Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, well, they've had some interesting games against each other. Both respect each other, but there's been some, obviously, crazy games between the two. I want you to predict the score for the Chiefs versus the Bills. Get that in the comment section. I want to see who has it for the upcoming game this Sunday. I think it's going to be a fun game, and hopefully it'll be a Chiefs win. But go in there and let me know what your score prediction is for this Chiefs versus Bills game. So here's what I am going to go with here on this upcoming score. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs coming out on top 27-21. That's what I think, and I think you should agree with me because, listen, we got the Chiefs. I think they sneak out. I'm not going to say it's a big win, but I'm definitely not going to see the Bills scoring more than 21 at Arrowhead with the defense that has been playing so incredibly well. We appreciate you watching. As always, Chiefs Kingdom. Peace out.